Although Millie Bobby Brown's character in Damsel battles a ferocious dragon, this is not the real antagonist of the film. Queen Isabel, Elodie's wicked mother-in-law, was undoubtedly a piece of work, but she wasn't the worst character in the Netflix film. Rather, it was the fantasy story's most heinous passive character, who had every chance to rise to the occasion and save our main damsel from certain death. The plot of Netflix series Damsel centers on Elodie, who is thrown into a dragon's cave as a ritual sacrifice, while thinking she is being married off to the prince of an affluent realm. But this is by no means a tale of a damsel in distress. Elodie shows that she has the will and intelligence to live, and she faces the dragon head-on with the support of the several princesses who perished before her. In the end, though, it becomes clear that neither Queen Isabel nor the Beast truly represent the antagonist of the tale. Instead, Elodie's attractive prince is the worst aspect of Damsel. The fantasy film on Netflix exposes that the kingdom of Aurea was deceiving the dragon. As recompense for her children's murders, members of the royal family were supposed to be offered up every generation, but the dragon had killed young girls for decades before tricking them into marrying into the family. The Beast realized this and joined Elodie in exacting her retribution on the kingdom, demonstrating that Elodie was not as terrible as she had first appeared to be. However, Prince Henry, who starred alongside Nick Robinson in the Netflix series Damsel, was never able to show any signs of improvement. Rather, he only became worse. It makes understandable that at first Prince Henry had no feelings at all for Elodie, as he was aware that she would not be his true wife. But while they conversed, he noticed that there was a slight spark between them. Henry may have been motivated to be a hero by this, but he frustratingly did nothing. Before throwing Elodie into the pit, he apologized, but this almost made what he did worse. Prince Henry had several opportunities to speak the truth, but instead he chose to follow along. By the time Damsel's End came along, it was evident that Queen Isabel was the main opponent and not the dragon. Henry, on the other hand, comes across as far worse than his mother when considering each character's position in Elodie's story. The queen gained some points in a way because she didn't try to pass for someone else. She didn't pretend to be Lady Bayford's mistress, but she did show Elodie a little consideration since she needed her. She also at least had the grace to be honest with Elodie's father prior to the wedding. Henry thought that everything had worked out for him, even with everything he'd done, and that Elodie would want to marry him for genuine. However, Henry lacked sincere regret and was unaware of how horrible his acts were. The prince had the audacity to be pleased to see Elodie when she unexpectedly attended his wedding to the third sacrifice. Henry cried out that he would be free to marry anybody he chose when he finished off his most recent bride. He had no choice but to cast her into the dragon pit. Henry thought that everything had worked out for him, even with everything he'd done, and that Elodie would want to marry him for genuine. In the end, Damsel gave the evil prince exactly what he deserved.